Hello everybody, my name is B Carter and welcome back to my channel. I did just realise that I leave these intros to the end of my video because it's usually when I'm looking my best because I've put makeup on. But I just realised that I did that backwards today, so I actually took my makeup off. So this is kind of like a get unready with me while we talk about a true crime story. So I currently look my worst, but that's okay. Please like, subscribe and do all that fun stuff, and I will see you in the video. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different tonight, because it's quite late and I'm quite tired and I want to go to bed. So instead of putting this on, we're going to take it off. I'm going to do a mask and look like an absolute gimp for a little while. I'm going to start by taking my eye makeup off because otherwise, if I try to wash my face with my eyes like this, I'm going to look like a pink raccoon that had a fight with its boyfriend and can't stop crying about it. But today, while we do this, we're going to talk about Lobster Boy. And yes, if you're picturing some kind of deformity, that's exactly what this is going to be. So Lobster Boy he had like a genetic mutation. I'm really bad at pronouncing this shit though. So it's called ecrodactyly, which I just keep relating it to a pterodactyl, which I think is probably it. So he was born in 1937. Oh, babe! I just heard the biggest sigh. It's a little white tube next to my basin, and stop doing that in the house. You're gonna start a vaping channel? You can be a vape girl on sex cams or something. I think you could be a vaping cam boy.
Cam girls, as in the ones that pretty much smash themselves out in front of the
Yeah. I think you'd be good at that. I'd pay.
What was the thing I was looking for? I got distracted with Cam.
My eye cream. It's a little white tube next to my bathroom basin oh, it might be on my makeup table.
Here we go. Took a while, but I got there.
Oh, was so fucking hard, was it?
It was, apparently.
Go away. One cannot forget eye cream. One is getting wrinkles. One is not fond of wrinkles. So getting wrinkles, like I haven't had them for years. I've got grey hair. I've got grey fucking hair. Okay, so there were a couple different like conflicting stories. So ecrodactyly is basically like, he's got lobster claws for hands basically, and like it can come in different, I suppose, ways, like different. Like it can affect one hand or both hands or hands and feet or just one foot or like whatever. It had run in his family for generations. Like his dad, gross. His dad had it, his dad's dad had it, his dad's dad's dad had it. I got a little confused because there were conflicting stories about this. One said that his dad did have it, but he had it quite mildly. So he was just like a normal bloke. Like he got a normal job and everything like that because he still had like some working appendages, but that he felt like his son being born with all four. So Lobster Boy, who was Grady Stiles Jr., and his dad was Grady Stiles. Grady Stiles Jr. was born with lobster-like sort of claws. Like all I can like relate it to is that the first thing I thought was that he was doing like the Star Trek, yeah, but just like permanently without a thumb. Is basically, but there's gonna be photos in this anyway, so it, whatever. So he had that, and then his feet weren't like that, but they were kind of like they were described as flippers, but I don't think they're kind of like inward turned, and his legs were short, and so he couldn't walk. He used a wheelchair and used his upper body to pull himself along, which gained him a lot of upper body strength, which would come to his advantage and everybody else's demise later on. So yeah, there was a couple of reports that said that his dad was like, when he was born, was like, oh well, like we want him to live a fulfilling life and yada yada yada. And so, we're all going to join the circus. and travel as the Lobster family. But then there was like more sources said that he was born into the circus. So his dad was already in the circus. Like he was introduced to actually performing at the age of 7, but he was born into being a circus performer. He was born on June 26th in 1937. And his family was actually doing quite well in the circus. They earned about $50,000 to $80,000 a season, which is like, I mean, that's an annual salary now, right? So imagine what that was in 1937. Like, I always thought that circus workers were like mistreated and shit. Apparently not. Well, I mean, they might have been. We don't know these things. So they worked huge in the circus, and he grew up to be very, very strong, because of like, he basically was constantly had an upper body workout because he would use his arms and his upper body to pull him along. I have a bowl of water here so that I can wash my face, and I don't know how this is going to go. When he was a little bit older, he was in the circus, and there was a lady named Mary Teresa. Apparently she went by Teresa, but so many things called her Mary. And so apparently she went by Teresa, but we're going to call her Mary because most of the resources called her Mary. So she had basically run away from home. There were a couple of things that said that she was running away from like incest and stuff. But she didn't have any mutations or anything. She just kind of like, she was considered to be normal. She just kind of like ran away from home because she wasn't loving it. And she was just like a circus worker. Like she wasn't a performer. She was just a worker. And so she met Grady, or Lobster Boy, when she was 19 years old. And they got married, and they went on to have 2 daughters named Kathy and Donna. Now, a few of the sources got a bit mixed up between Kathy and Donna, so I'm not really sure. But in the first one that I read, it was that Kathy had the same mutation as her dad, and Donna did not. It comes the same as like who he sort of despised more. He seemed to not love Donna very much. One source said that Donna became the apple of his eye because she didn't have a mutation. But another one said that he was sort of like hated Donna more because she didn't have the mutation. So I don't know, I don't really know. But anyway, so they had 2 daughters. One had the condition and one did not. Grady sort of started to abuse alcohol during his marriage. Apparently he was a very tender and loving man while he was sober, but unfortunately that was not very often. Once like all of this came to light and Grady was dead and gone, like his wife Mary went on to testify that he was very, very nice when he was a lovely husband when he wasn't drinking, which was from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every morning. And then it was hell. So once he started drinking, basically he got really, really abusive towards his kids and his wife. One day he got into such a bad fight with Mary that he ripped out her IUD. Now, if you don't know what an IUD is, it's a birth control thing that they insert into you for a period of time, a couple years, a few years, 5 years, whatever. And I don't know if you know this, but it's not like a fucking tampon string. Like you can't just accidentally hook it. And I mean, even a tampon string would be hard to accidentally hook, but like if she just so happened to be naked, it's not something that you can just grab and pull out. Like you had to fish for it to get up there and get it out. So fuck knows what he was actually doing to her. That's just scary to think about, isn't it? So basically when this happened and he ripped out her IUD, she was just like, nah, I'm done, and she booked it. She divorced him, and unfortunately, he won custody of the girls. So they were basically left there, like, with him alone. This happened in 1974, so she divorced him in 1974. 1978, Donna wanted to get married, so he controlled their lives. Like, he was a very controlling father. And she wanted to get married, which was kind of part of like a fuck you to him, basically. It was like, nah, I'm out. She was in her late teens, so she wasn't like, but she's like, I'm getting married to him whether you like it or not. I'm going to go and live with him. His name was Jack. And Grady was, look, he was less than pleased. And so he was like, nah. It's unclear how it actually happened. Basically in 1978, this is what they think. In 1978, he called Jack, Donna's fiance, to the house or wherever it was. Or he went to his house, who knows. Under the ruse that he was going to give his blessing, or something like that. And like I said, it's not really clear. As soon as Jack opened the door, Grady killed him, shot him with a shotgun. So that happened. So that was crazy. In this time, Mary also got remarried and had another kid. She had a son, who comes up a bit later in the story. I'm about to put a mask on. I'm going to look crazy. But it's okay. Like, all I need next is some cucumbers for me eyes. Oh yeah, so what happened was, right, it was like he never denied it. He'd never denied that he did it. He wasn't very remorseful about the fact that he did it. And he just like, I mean, he did try to claim self-defense, but they were like, no. Nope. So he pointed out in his trial, or like him and his defense team, they pointed out in the trial that no prison could accommodate him. He had developed a liver disease from his years of drinking, and emphysema from years of smoking, and obviously his rare genetic condition. Like, no prison was equipped to handle him. And so he did get charged and convicted. He got a couple of years of house arrest, I believe, and then just like 15 years of probation. So just kind of like a don't leave the state and don't fuck up again. You know? So he went to jail, or he didn't go to jail. He didn't go to jail is the issue. But yeah, like he had like fuck all remorse, hey? Like he didn't even care. Like, and when he saw Donna again, like his words to her were literally like, I told you I was gonna kill him. Like I said, he was not remorseful about what happened, like at all. He basically was like, told his daughter, like, I told you I was gonna kill him, and goddamn, you was right. So look, he was basically free to just go back and like do his own thing. In this time, Mary did remarry to someone else from the circus. She married Harry Glenn Newman, and then they had a son, Harry Glenn Newman Jr., which honestly just made Grady even more pissed off. Like, he was just not a happy camper. So anyway, somehow Grady found another wife, Barbara Browning. They got married in 1986, and they also had another child who was Grady Stiles III, who was also born with the ectrodactyly, whatever that is, both hands. I don't know about his feet, but I did see a picture of him in a wheelchair, so maybe it was his feet as well. He now had 3 children. There was a source that said that there was 4 children, but there was literally no other information about a 4th child, what their name was, nothing. There was no pictures, nothing. It was just 3 of them as far as I can tell. Grady Stiles III and Kathy were the only 2 electrodactyly, and they toured with their father as the Lobster family and stuff as well. Donna wasn't a lobster, so she didn't have to, I don't think, but she was still subjected to, like, he was subjected quite badly to the abuse and the physical violence over the years. I think it's because she didn't have it. Like, maybe he was all like resentful, I don't know. But then there was another source saying that she was the apple of his eye and Kathy was the one that got beat to smithereens, which would make sense because Kathy is the one that testified against him as well. But look, we don't know these things. Browning and Stiles, Lobster Boy, did end up getting divorced in 1989. She divorced him for the same reasons his first wife Mary divorced him for. In 1989, Mary actually went back. She remarried him in 1989, and nobody really knows why. Even her kids don't know why. There's speculation that it could be because she was trying to like save her kids from, or save the kids and whatever from his wrath. Like, I mean, he had custody of them, so it could just be because she missed them. He did get all high and mighty about this whole, like, I evaded prison. And so when he got remarried to Mary, like, the abuse settled down a little bit, but then it got worse. It's like it came back, like, tenfold. Like, he was like, no, I am untouchable now. Like, nothing can hurt me. A few years after she remarried him, Mary had gotten, like, she was just done. And so in 1992, there were a couple different ways that this played out. It says that she went to her 17-year-old neighbor, whose name was Chris Wyant, who was 17 years old, and paid him $1,500 to kill her husband, Lobster Boy, after talking to her son Glenn about it. But another one which made more sense to me was that she gave her son Harry Glenn Newman Jr., who people called Glenn, $1,500, and then Grady went next door to the neighbor and solicited Chris Wyant to do the killing. That makes sense to me because when they were convicted, Mary, she was convicted of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and manslaughter with a firearm, and she got 12 years. Chris Wyant got 27 years with no chance of parole before 25 for second-degree murder, and Glenn, he got life in prison for first-degree murder. So I dare say that like the story of him soliciting Chris is probably accurate, because Mary got the lesser charge. She did try to get him to get, anyway, we're getting sidetracked. We're getting off the timeline. In 1992, Mary gave her son Glenn Jr., Harry Glenn Newman Jr., $1,500. He went next door to their 17-year-old neighbor Chris Wyant, and gave it to him to basically kill Lobster Boy or Grady Stiles. So I'm actually super proud of myself that I haven't tried to call him Gary yet. Touch wood. So there's a couple of different ways that they said it, that this was done. One just says that he would shot him at point blank range after he got a friend to buy a gun for him, and another says that he shot him 3 times in the back of the head at point blank range, after going into his trailer where they live, or where he and his family lived. I think 3 times is a bit overkill if you're in the back of the head. But he was 17, maybe he didn't know that. I'll be right back. I'm going to wash this off. I'm back. Oh my god, my skin feels so good. I feel like everyone's just going to have really good skin after isolation because everyone's got time for a mask like every second day. Or every day. However many of the days that you wish. Oh, babe, I forgot my serum. The one that says dope skin in the little pumpy bottle thing.
So what?
The little...
Dope.
You're such a dick.
Is it dope skin, bruh? Dope.
You're such a dish. Don't get married, kids. Nah, dude. He's alright. He does okay. He edits my videos, so I can't really complain, can I? Chris Wyant got 27 years. He, like, none of them tried to deny that they had anything to do with it. They got questioned, they were like, yeah, we did it. We intended to kill him. There was no defense, there was nothing. They were just like, yep, he's a dick. They did try to use the years of abuse from Mary, but like the jurors were really kind of unsympathetic to her. I'm not really sure why. So her son Glenn got life in prison. She got 12 years, and Chris Wyant, the person who actually killed him, like physically killed him, got 27 years, unable to parole before 25 years. So during the trial, Mary actually said, she goes, you know, my husband was going to kill my family. I believe that with all my heart, is a quote from her about that. So, I mean, I believe her, and Kathy, their daughter, also testified that Mary did try to appeal the decision, but lost that. But yeah, she lost, and she started serving her sentence in 1997, and then, yeah, I mean, 12 years, so she would have got out in 2009. She would have got out in 2009. Oh, I graduated high school that year. Cute. Twins. So, yeah, like, she tried to appeal. She was sentenced to life. She did try to get her son, Glenn, to take a plea bargain, but he refused. So, I hope that you really like that story. I sure did enjoy doing that. It is much easier to talk and take my makeup off than it is to talk and put my makeup on. But I also feel like I can't not do something with my hands while I'm doing it either. I have tried, like I tried kind of eating while I was telling these stories and like having popcorn and stuff, but the editing process pissed my husband off so badly. So I couldn't do that anymore. Yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. that'd be fantastic. And subscribe and all of that lovely jazz, even though if you did watch it to the end of the story, you've probably clicked off by now, because I saw that in a video once, that's what people do. So yeah, feel free to give me a thumbs up, comment, like, say anything you want. I'm all for it, and I'm here for it. I'd love it, and I'm going to go to bed now. My name is B. Carter. I hope you have a lovely night. I hope you did a mask with me, or whatever. See you next time, friends.